What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. Here we are back in Lakeview. We are currently just stopped right here. We just picked up from the cement place. I had an option to do doubles. I decided against it just to go with a single because I haven't played for a while, and I'll get into that here in a second. Once I get my bearings going again, make sure I remember how to play this game. So we are in Lakeview right now, where we left off last, probably about 2 weeks ago. The last time I played, maybe a little bit more than maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. So we're going to a place we haven't gone to, which is Coos Bay. We have to stop here. Maybe we could, yeah. Okay. There's no stop sign for us though. There's something over there for them. So yeah, it's about 38,000 pounds going to Coos Bay. It's going to take us about 9 hours. They give us about double that time, pretty much. So it's just a normal job. It's not a fast delivery. We have to jump in front of one of these guys. I had started off from the beginning of the episode at the actual place. But I stumbled and I already got like 7% damage on the vehicle. Just because I haven't played it. Hey, a skate park. Just because I haven't played in so long. I haven't played in a long time, and 2.5 weeks isn't really that long, but for me, when you're not playing a game, what is up with this? I was coming here, I saw these vehicles like this. I felt like I was going the wrong way. I felt like I was in the UK or somewhere. The cars were backwards. I know in some states you could park. Oh, a little lag. I know in some states you could park like that, but not on the main road. I know you can park like that on side roads, but I don't think you can do that on the main road because getting back into traffic would be quite difficult, I would assume. Okay, we're gonna go left here. And they already know that somehow. That guy just jumped up in front of us. So, I'll tell you why I haven't recorded in a while. About 2.5 weeks ago, I started to feel sick. I got a sore throat. Normally accompanies a sore throat is a cough, but this year I got it a little differently. I didn't get really a cough. I just got a sore throat and a really bad cold and body aches and everything that normally accompanies a flu. That guy's riding a rear red car. I gotta turn off the differential because I was stuck somewhere. Unfortunately, you guys don't have to see that part because I was stuck on a fire hydrant for a really long time and I couldn't get off the fire hydrant. So that's why I started my recording down the street instead of at the place that we were picking up at, which is just at like a cement place where they have a bunch of rock and stuff like that. We're stopping up here. Is this a yield sign? What is this? I know why they're on my butt now because wow. Hello. Because this is 55 and I was only going about 35, roughly 30. So I got what I thought was a flu. Turns out I went to the hospital I got sick on probably like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 6 days later, I started to get a fever, so I went to the hospital. I go to the hospital instead of urgent care just because it's easier for me. I'll turn the lights on just because I'm a trucker. So I went to the hospital instead of urgent care because normally, well, at the time I went to the hospital, it was like, I didn't want to go. I mean, I was going to go on Halloween, but then I thought about it. I'm like, no, a lot of people are probably getting hurt, ending up there for some drunken reason, or, getting hurt somehow, ran over, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you can end up in the hospital after a holiday, after drinking. Even though it's a weekday, I think it fell on a Wednesday, but still, people have like days off and normally end up doing something, having a party of some sort. Anyways, so I didn't want to go on Halloween, so I decided to wait, and then I just kept waiting, and I woke up with like what was like a cold sweat, and I didn't know I had a fever. I checked it the night before. It was like 99.3, but I didn't know if it was working. My temperature gauge was working right. My thermometer that I have, I've had it for so long, and so I didn't know if it was working right. And I was just like, okay, well, lower my gearing. I'll just go to the hospital. Luckily, when I got there, there was only 2 people in front of me, so I only ended up waiting about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at the most. But I was in a bed within 20 minutes. They were, put an IV in my arm. They drew blood to draw cultures, is what they called it. And those don't come back for a few weeks, but they would call me. They would have called me it's been about a week since I was in the emergency room. Either they'll call me coming up. I feel like I'm going to flip over. Slow down here. Either they're going to call me in like a week or so, but they already told me that it wasn't the flu, but they drew cultures for something else to see what kind of bacteria that I had. Or maybe it's just to help them with the flu this year that's going to be happening. That always happens around this time of the year. So anyways, I had a temperature of 101.3, which isn't that high, like a mid-grade fever or low-grade fever. I would say mid-grade because anything above 102 is probably pretty high. I think 105, you're pretty much dead. Anyway, I don't know that much about it, so I shouldn't talk about it. So they ended up telling me that I just had a sickness of some kind. It wasn't the flu that's going around. It was like a week before that I had gotten the flu shot. And I've been getting the flu shot lately in the past 3 years, or 2.5 years that I've been sick. I've been getting the flu shot just because my immune system isn't that great. But I think I've been putting the flu shot. I think the flu shot has been giving me the flu. I know it's a lot of people say that, they're giving you the virus or whatever so that you don't get the flu. And yeah, I didn't get the flu, but I did get sick, so it did give me something. I don't know what it gave me, but it gave me something. So still fighting off a cold. Of course, as soon as I start recording, I would start to get, my nose would start to run again, and I'm a little stuffed up right now, but I don't feel super tired. I was actually feeling really tired. We're going to slow down up here. I don't know what that was. Oh, low. We're going way too fast. Yeah, can't. I am foot on the brakes. I couldn't stop. I was like, are we going to be able to stop? See anybody through the signs? I see this red vehicle, Jeep Cherokee. Good. So I'll get back to talking about that in a minute. Let's get going again. But yeah, so I'm still fighting off the cold. Like I said, as soon as I start recording, it comes back full circle. I was actually starting to feel a little bit better. I am starting to feel a little bit better. I'm not getting the sweats anymore. As soon as I start talking about it, I start feeling a little bit sweaty, but I don't feel like I used to. So that should be a tree. So I don't feel as bad as I used to, though. I'm not as tired as I was. Every day I'd wake up, take my medicine, go back to sleep. Every day, take a shower, take my medicine, go back to sleep, wake up. I didn't even eat for like 2 days. So I didn't see my girlfriend I didn't want to see my girlfriend. I didn't want to get my girlfriend sick or her daughter sick. Her daughter still ended up getting sick from some, preschool, but still, it wasn't my doing, I don't think. So I didn't see my girlfriend for like a good week. And then when I was in the hospital, she finally came to see me. So that was awesome. She came in to see me, and I was able to see her, but I wasn't feeling that great. Obviously, we didn't go do nothing, but so I went on a Friday, ended up seeing her, I believe, on Saturday. No, there's a rest area over there. I ended up seeing her on the Sunday. On a Sunday, we hung out on a Sunday. That Sunday, when I started after the hospital, I started to feel a lot better. Just because they gave me an IV, I had fluids in me, and then they had to give me an IV in the left arm, and in the right arm they had to draw blood from separately. I don't know why they couldn't do that together, draw blood first and then give me the IV, but, I don't know how every hospital's different. So that was kind of not fun. Normally they give me an IV like on the inside of the elbow, but they couldn't find any veins because I have so many tattoos, and they didn't want to bring out the ultrasound machine, the X-ray, I think it's called the ultrasound? Yeah, that machine that checks for babies. They use it on your arm to check for veins, and they're able to get an IV like instantly. They didn't want to go get that machine because obviously it takes longer. So they just went into the top of my hands, which, if you've ever had an IV in your hands, it hurts a lot, but once they get it in there, it's fine. But that big old needle in the beginning, that needle for that 5-10 seconds, it hurts a lot. I don't like needles at all, but I love getting tattoos. And I ended up saying that completely backwards, like, to the nurse. I'm like, I love needles, and she's like, what? I was like, no, not like drugs. I've been in the hospital so long that I've been, because they don't really know your past medical history until after. They look you up, but at the beginning they don't know nothing. Get a sip of my coffee. I'm recording at nighttime, so it's about, the stupid daylight savings time that we have here in California. Arizona and a bunch of other states got rid of it, but California still has the changing of the time. So for about until March or April, when daylight saving time starts or ends or whatever it is, it starts to happen again. I'm getting lag sitting right now. I'm on my brakes. So that's just basically what's been going on. I've just been battling a sickness, and I have not been able to record. So that's why I've been gone for so long. There's nothing like crazy going on. I'm still with my girlfriend. It's still going amazing. I have nothing bad to say about that. Dating. I had a feeling that someone's gonna think something. Oh, he's got a girlfriend. He's not recording. No, I still like to record. I got the really bad cold and whatnot, and I was like, no, I can't record right now. I would be like, constantly, constantly like sniffling, sneezing, coughing, and nobody wants to listen to that. Go to 5th. It wasn't difficult for me to get back into shifting because it's just like anything else, but driving a big old truck is a lot different. Like I said, I really haven't even been driving my car around. So too much. So yeah, I haven't really driven anything around my car. I drove my car on Sunday. And then I just parked it. Probably skipped 5th on this one. Yeah. shifter I'm still able to do. It's just in the beginning of this episode, if you guys would have saw that 10 minutes of, I hit a stop sign and I hit a fire hydrant. Luckily the stop sign came down and it didn't stop me from going anywhere. But of course the fire hydrant is not, this guy's sticking out far. Obviously the fire hydrant caught me up. So I hope you guys all been doing well. This is pretty much the season for getting sick, at least where I'm from anyway. So that wouldn't, pretty much around the world. I mean, around the United States of America. I don't know about the world. It's normally the season of getting ill and, you know, just the fall time. But yeah, me and my girlfriend are still trucking along. She likes my goofy self. So I don't know why anybody does, but hey, I'm different. I'm not the same as every other dude out there. And I think that's what she likes about me. I'm not like a party animal. I don't go out and do, you know, that partying lifestyle. I believe we're still in the city, so we're still gonna slow down a bit. Keep it around 40, or what's the speed limit? 35. So I know recently, in the last a little bit over 2 weeks, they introduced the Volvo, which I was talking about. Whoa, dude, trying to kill me? So anyways, they introduced the Volvo, which I was pretty much guaranteed that they were going to do, because the Volvo dealership came out, and I don't have Aerodeath stuff installed right now, because when we went to 1.8, what are we on right now? Whatever we're on right now, I don't know, 1 point something 4, I don't know. I completely forgot already. I know when we came into this game, it told us, but that was on my last episode. So, I'm trying to get in front of this wild and crazy dude. Get off the phone, woman! Jeez. So I know obviously they had a new version of the game. Of course, I can't think of it right now. This is entrance deal. Portland next right. I gotta slow down a lot. Don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. Nice little work truck over there. Ford Super Duty. So yeah, they introduced obviously a new version. I said that about 4 times already, maybe 3 times, whatever. Volvo is now in the game. You can see the Volvo there. I don't have Aerodeath stuff in the game, so they introduced the VNL, the new VNL, which is the one that Aerodeath used, the one that we used to use with Aerodeath mod. I believe you could still use his mods, but they're SISL. Or SCS, they're SCSs, they're the games now. So Aerodeath probably got a cut, I don't know. Either got a cut or they left him hanging, because he had that truck before anybody else did. Or that's what I'm thinking. I don't really know what how involved the modders are with the developers, but it would have been nice to give Aerodeath, him or her, I don't know if it's a him or a her, I just know the name is Aerodeath, the modder anyway, a hopefully they gave him a cut, because it just helps out your branding. And if they didn't give him a cut, then I mean, I know all the modding is free and whatnot, but when you have a really great mod, and then the game eventually puts it in the game, I would think you would get a little bit, either a thank you, even a thank you is enough, would be enough, for me anyways. Luckily, I'm not a modder, so, and if I was a modder, then I really wouldn't have any time to game, even though these people that, I'm assuming they're more than one person. I don't know about Aerodeath, but Tradescapes is like a gaming group, and they introduce trucking and skins for trucks and different trailers and whatnot all the time. But I'm assuming it's like a group, because they also have a YouTube channel as well, where they show off all the stuff that they make, and then they put it up in either in Modsland, I think it's Modland, or ATS trucking, ATS mods. Those are pretty much the only ones I use nowadays. I just use atsmods.lt, I believe it is. I'd have to check that. I believe it's L something, LT, atsmods.lt, or something like that. And then I use Modsland or Modland, one of those two. All the other ones are just pretty much different it's the same mod. It's the same person, just putting it on other websites. But the creator of the mod pretty much posts it for everybody on a bunch of different websites, and I just choose to use different ones. I'm sure there's better ones out there. You know, if you guys use different ones and there's better mods, let me know. I did put a couple mods in the game. I'm not using them yet, but they're not in the game yet, but they are in my folder. I'm not using them yet because I wanted to make sure, because I knew when I got to this version it was going to be different when I started the game up, so I didn't want to start it in another version of the game. Hey, there's a big old header on that harvester. I play Farming Simulator 17. I was able to get that game back. I actually had to pay like $5 for it, but it was a lot less than what I paid for it when I first bought it. So I was able to get that game back. Obviously, I had to pay for it. The other game I got back that I didn't have to pay for, I forgot what it was called, but I did get another game back that I was unable to, that I didn't pay for, that Steam gave back to me. Is this the weird intersection? I don't think it is. No. There's a weird intersection. I don't know where it is, but it has off ramps like this, and there's stop signs at the on ramp to get, or I'm going for this, at the end of that big old circle. There's a big old there's a little red light, green light at the end of it, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know where. I think it was in Medford, and I don't think we're close to Medford right now. I think we're in Portland, or outside of Portland. We're headed, I don't know which direction we're headed, so I'm not going to even try to tell you guys. So I'm going to try out some mods to make the little mirror smaller, to get the tiny one back, because this one's kind of big. I mean, it's not that big anymore, but it's still kind of big than the ones we used to have. And there's also another Volvo truck, which is an older version. I'm not sure the name on it. It's like I'm not sure the letters in front of it, like NH or BN, but it's a 12. It just, I don't know if that's the model number, I don't know if the year, I don't know what that is, but it's like a BN12 or a C something 12. It's a, or NC12. It's something weird like that. It's a single cab Volvo that is an older model. It doesn't look like the ones that are around here. The ones that, the VNLs that we see. Maybe it's an NH12. It's something like that. And then they have another SISL Mega Pack out. A newer version. Obviously, I'm going to stick with the one that has "get off the phone" in here, but I don't know what extras it has in it, but I'm just going to have to see on that one. Coming up on like a wood shop, probably to that way, probably that way. What do you guys think of Oregon so far? You guys like it? All the trees. That's what I pretty much said it was going to be, which was a bunch of trees. Obviously, we got to see that drawbridge. I believe it was the last episode I put out. We had to wait probably like 5 minutes for that drawbridge to go back down, which was fun. It's fun to see every once in a while. Hopefully, it's not like that every single time, but we'll see. I did get a mod for the Freightliner Century, an older model, obviously, Freightliner Century. It's got the round lights in the front, so I might try out that mod. Coming up on us. I'm already going 45. Probably gonna go to 35 though. Yeah. Slow it down a little bit. I'm on the brakes and I'm still not coming to a stop. Yeah, these brakes are a little bit different. What is that vehicle over there? Interesting. It's like the van, but it has glass on the back. I don't remember seeing that one. Well, it is a van. I guess it didn't load through because when it looked like it was on the right side, it looked like a half-cut van, and then when it went through the light, we're all turning here. So I don't know if I told you guys, I had the option for doubles with the cement truck, and when I got, that's what I picked the job as, and then when I got here, I picked it as a single. I don't know if I said that in the episode or not, or if I said that, I don't know if I said that in this episode, or if I said that in the previous practice episode that I ended up doing. My girlfriend wanted to try and, she goes, put your this was probably like 3 weeks ago. She's like, put your setup up. I want to see if I can play it. And she didn't even like sit down and try and play it. I was just showing her like, you got to go through all these gears. But she doesn't know how to drive manual transmission, so it was kind of pointless to try and teach her how to play the game. Because then I would have to change up the setup to be an automatic, and I don't remember how I set this up to be advanced. What did I set it up to be? It's an advanced setup, so the gears grind. And here comes the tugboat, and they have to stop. No, we're good. I don't know where the side. I don't know where the thing's at. Oh, it's not on this one. Okay. At least I don't think. I don't know. I don't see the red light. So I didn't know. I mean, it's not that hard to set up. It's just different. you know, I just have to go into advanced settings and make sure that my shifter is set up, and since we're going downhill, we can leave it at 7. If I was going uphill, that would be bad. Walmart that way. Still got 100 miles to go. So instead of messing with my setup, I decided just to leave it as it. Okay, we're not gonna see that. Instead of messing with my setup, I was just trying to teach her how to do it with the clutch and everything. I was just showing her. She was like sitting down next to me, and I was messing with the gears, and she was probably looking at my feet like, I can't do that. It'd probably be a good way to teach somebody overall how to drive a stick shift. What's that truck doing over there? Stop way before. Look at all that room it gave. Weird. There's a used car lot. There's a Dodge Magnum that I've always wanted. I mean, I'm sure you could teach somebody how to drive stick. I wouldn't try and do it on, what is that guy doing? He's going to turn, he decided not to. Or are they doing the lane jumping again? I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure like on like Assetto Corsa or Project Cars 1 or 2, you could probably teach somebody how to drive because it's pretty much the same. I'm sure kids learn how to drive stick shift on a setup if they get like a G27 or G29 or a Thrustmaster or anything like that. I'm sure that's where they learn how to drive stick, is on the game. And it's probably easier once they get in a car. Obviously you're not going the same speed, but it teaches you the overall mechanics of having to keep the clutch in when you have to, and, you know, having to shift with the clutch versus trying to learn just in a car. I think the simulators are pretty good at, you know, if you set up your clutch just right. You know, a lot of the newer cars, the clutches are like way down there, obviously. When you get in a used car, it's mostly closer to the top. It's either set up that way, or it's just the older cars are just like that. I remember when I used to drive my old truck, the clutch wasn't going out or nothing, but it was probably a third of the way up before I released the clutch was where I needed to have it to shift into another gear or let go of the clutch to start going forward. I'm going way too quick, 35. And then when I got like a newer vehicle and it was a little park thing, too small probably for a car. Then when I got a newer vehicle, it was a lot closer to the bottom, like 3/4 of the way down, going around a U-turn right here. So make sure we keep it at speed so we don't flip over. That was the time that I was flipping over. I was already flipping over, and then I wasn't going without. I started to, you know, if we were making a right turn, I started to turn more right, and then jerked it. Or I was like trying to get rid of it by going left, and then I jerked the steering wheel right. And that's when I lost. That's when I lost. That's when I flipped over. 50 miles, not that far to go. I did pick a longer job than I normally pick on a beginning. On getting back to trucking video, but I had a lot to talk about. I didn't think I was going to talk about my flu that long, but been going to the doctors a lot more. I did have a hypoglycemic emergency a couple days ago. I think it was on the Sunday. I think that's what it was, Sunday night. I was on my way to the gas station with my girlfriend, and I ended up, hey, look at the water. Fine, don't look at the water. I was going to the gas station with my girlfriend, and I was feeling really anxious. And when I start to feel anxious, and I start to shake at the same time, I know my sugar is really low. So it was, I'll tell you what it is in a minute, but it was pretty low at the time. So I started taking a lot of glucose tablets, pretty much it's sugar tablets that pretty much taste like Tums or something like that. So I started to eat a bunch of my glucose tablets, and that wasn't doing anything. So we ended up stopping at the gas station, getting out, and I told her what was going on. And I was trying to check my sugar. My blood wasn't going on the strip right. I kept getting too much blood and whatever. I threw away the first strip after like 3 attempts. Tried it again. I poked my finger again, and I got it on the second try, on the second strip, probably the 5th try. And my sugar was, I think it was like 67 or 75 or something like that. It was way too low. What is that over there? Just a bridge in the middle of nowhere? Oh, it's a turning bridge. That's cool. Forever to go. We're able to go over there. It's one of those turning bridges. Instead of it going up or down, it turns left or right, or turns in a circle pretty much. So anyway, it was like 75 or 67, something crazy, too low for me. Normally normal for me is around 150, even though I'm just because I'm a diabetic, it's around 150. So I ended up drinking a little bit of regular soda, which is regular Pepsi, and it came down I started to feel better. I wasn't so shaky, and got into my room, got to my house, went to the freezer, got a big old thing of ice cream. My girlfriend's like, "Wow, that's a lot of ice cream." Kuzme discovered. And I got into my ice cream, big old half gallon or gallon of ice cream, and just started eating it. I checked my sugar a little bit later, and it turned out to be like just going up to about 150, which was ridiculous, because normally going into one of these things again, I think this is it, yeah, because normally it's around 150 for me. So even with ice cream, a bunch of tablets and all that stuff, basically I went way too low for myself. Red motor, I think it has in it. I don't know, I can't tell. I have to turn around on this one. No, I think we're good here. We'll get back in my truck. We're on the end. Okay, that's good. What do they need? I don't know what this is. Milk? What is one of those deals that we always go against getting? Of course, there's a truck here, so I can't go all the way to the end. That should be fine. Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. Gotta remember, there's a vehicle over here. I'm not turning my wheel at all. It's completely straight. I think we're good. I don't think we need to turn the wheel at all, to be honest with you. Start going with it. We're out of the way of that. I think we're out of the way of that truck. Might be a little too shy. Let's see here. We're good right here. I was gonna say we might be a little bit too, not enough. I mean, too much turn, but I think we can straighten it out here. 30 just fine. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Oh, it's a little crooked. That's a little bit crooked. I don't like that much. I'm just gonna move the trailer a little bit to the passenger side. That should be fine right there. That should be good right there. Alright, parking brake on. Engine on, flashers off. Outside view. Hey, that looks pretty good right there. We're perfect right there. We got a little bit of room, but I'm gonna keep that. That one looks really good. So let's drop it off. I think it's milk or something, or cement. Something crazy. That would 466 miles, 9 hours, 38 minutes, 76 gallons consumed, $44,352 with 127 XP. Check the job offers leaving here. Carlsbad, California, Fresno, California, Medford, Oregon, or Salem, Oregon, which we still need to go to Ontario, Pendleton, and one up here, which, let's just go out of it just to see which one it is. Oh no, we already went there. Just Ontario and Pendleton, is that it? Because we discovered Coos Bay. So I was hoping that Lakeview we would get something to Ontario, but everything was going either south to New Mexico. There was one going to Carson City. There was one going to Reno, and the other one was going to Coos Bay. So I decided to go to Coos Bay. We're gonna have to discover this side eventually. I might have to go back to one of my garages in Bend, or where's my other garage? No, I have like 3 garages here now. Is that it? No. I don't know. Wherever it's at. I know I have. Oh, it's a Eugene, Medford, and Bend. Medford, Eugene, and Bend. So hopefully we can leave from here. But if not, we'll just do a job from Coos Bay, maybe back to California or something like that. I don't know yet. So yeah, I got my sugar back to. Luckily, I got it back to normal, eating ice cream and whatnot. But I was gonna say that even after all those tablets I ate and that soda and the ice cream, that it still didn't go back to like normal. It just went, I mean, it went back to just normal. It didn't go like too. Normally, when I have a downside, it goes way too high after because I always end up having way too much. So luckily, I was able to fix that, and I didn't end up going too high. So it was probably, I had way too much insulin is probably what happened. So I know you guys don't care, really. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Take care. Get off the phone! Peace out.